Good morning, guys. Ingemar here. Today we want to talk about the on-road performance of the car, the vision from the driver's seat, and the steering. Those were the topics that came up in the comment sections of the previous videos, so I want to cover those. First, on-road performance. When I ordered the car, I was pretty sure the off-road performance will be, off-road capabilities will be amazing. With all the parts they knew, all the design within. You did hear a lot about it in all the different YouTube channels and so on. All the presentations from Ineos, of course. But I was not sure if that car can substitute my previous ride on an everyday basis, because that's what I'm using it for as well. So after having my Grenadier, after having looking now for quite a bit, I can assure you the on-road performance is very, very good. I was impressed by it. I was actually surprised by it. The engine and the transmission work together perfectly. The torque is amazing of the diesel engine. The noise level while driving fast, even with the off-road tires, is absolutely fine, up to 130, 140 kilometers per hour. Really, really nice level. The seats are super comfortable. On my hard way home from Morocco, I had one stretch where I drove for 1,600 kilometers straight. It's roughly 1,000 miles. And after getting out of the car, after 16, 17 hours, I still felt all right. So the seats are good. The cruise control is nice. So it really works as an everyday car on the road as well. It doesn't lean in the turns. The steering is precise, but different. You have to get used to it. I talk about it a little bit later. There's a little bit of free play in the center, and due to the way it's constructed, it needs more turns to get the result. But then again, it's more precise while doing that. But you don't have to micromanage it going down the freeway. I add a little clip later where you can see me going on the motorway, and there's not a lot of input needed. You get used to it within 1 or 2 hours, and then everything is perfectly fine. So, well, first of all, there was one question: how do I get into the car with the rock sliders? Of course, the side steps are more comfortable to get in. You cannot really use the rock sliders to get into the car. I think especially if they're wet, you might slip and then hit your shin bone. So the way I do it, I just slide in and sit in the car. That's it. It's not too big of a hassle. Getting out requires some technique because my feet are too short to reach them right away, to reach the ground right away. So what I do, I lower my foot, rest the second one here on the side step and jump out. That's it. One thing though that I realized, there's a protection plate here to cover the paint, but still you cause some scratches while getting in and out here. I thought about putting some tape there, do some modifications to protect the paint, but then you have a double sealed door. One seal is in here and the other seal is on the door itself, and it attaches to the frame right here where I plan to place the tape. So one of my viewers pointed it out, so we don't want to damage that seal, of course. So it might be just a clear film that I will put up there to protect it, to avoid scratches, to avoid further scratches. But then again, it's an off-road car. Scratches are okay, aren't they? And yeah, to talk about the rest, let's jump into the car and take a little ride. We're now here in the driver's seat of the car, and you can see the view is quite good. It's nice to see the dimensions of the car because you can make out the corners there in the front, so it's easy to judge where the car starts and where it ends. In front of you there's nothing that blocks your view. You only have the little annunciator panel, I would call it, where you can see all the important information regarding the status of the car, like lights and diff locks, low range and so on. I'll talk about that in a different video as well. And here you have the speedometer. It's slightly out of view, but you get used to it very, very fast as well. And well, it's still in your field of view. That's how the rear view mirror looks like. The A column is big, but in most modern cars, it's not really blocking your view. And there was one question regarding the raised air intake. So it's just slightly wider than the A column. It's not hindering your view either, I would say. You can see the view in the right hand rear view mirror, and of course the interior one. That's how it looks like there. The spare wheel is blocking a little bit of the view to the back, but it's still okay. And that would probably be the driver's position on the right hand side. So even here, of course, that handle would be missing. So the raised air intake is not really blocking your view, even from this side. Here you can see me going down the motorway in Austria. Speed is roughly 130 kilometers per hour. And as discussed before, there's a little bit of free play in the center position when the steering is not loaded. But during the turn it's super precise. It doesn't need a lot of inputs, as you can see. And also if you go straight, it doesn't require any micromanaging. There were some concerns out there that you need to constantly work on it when keeping the car straight, but that's not really the fact, as you will see now on the straight part. In turns, something that is quite surprising, you have to actively bring the steering back once you want to go straight again. So that's different compared to normal steering we're used to in modern cars. But again, after 2 or 3 turns, tight turns, you get used to it, and I don't even think about it anymore. So I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, driving it is quite enjoyable, and the steering is quite precise. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I will try to answer it. Thank you.